Putting the following. Okay, so yesterday we have discussed about table across, table down, then across, table across, then down. And we also have discussed about pane down, then across, pane across, then down. So all this we have discussed. And we have also discussed about the cells. So for each and every cell, so the value will be unique. So there won't be any change if you select the cell option. So normal sales will match with the cell value. So let's create the same thing. So I'm taking sales and I will put year of order. Okay, let me put year of order date. And here I will keep quarter of order date and month of order date. And I will show sales. Make it entire view and increase the font. Okay, so this is my normal sales. And when I do table calculation, running total, so basically it will take table across as default. So the computation, so these are my computations. So these many computations I can do. So table across, table down, table across, then down. These many computations we can do. So we have completed this one. And cell we have discussed. So cell will be normally similar to whatever we have seen. So even if I select, compute using cell, so the numbers won't change. So it will be as it is. So the numbers will be as it is. When you select the cell. Okay, so now let's select the, so yesterday we have also discussed about by selecting the dimension. Okay, so now I have selected order date as a dimension. So based on the order date, it will do the calculation. So order date will be in this format. Let's say January 2020, Feb 2020, March 2020, like this. And again January 2021, February 2021. So it will be in this order. Okay, till 2023 December 2023. So this will be order. So if I try to find the previous value, what will be my previous value for December? It will be November. What is the previous value for November? Prashant, can you tell me what is the previous value for November? Yeah. So likewise, it will have the previous values. So why I need to know about all these previous values is, so if I go to February 2020, so I need to, I'll just put sales also. Measure names, color. Okay, so this is my normal sales. Okay, so if I want to find out running total of February 2020, it will be sum of my previous value. So with current value, I need to add the previous value. So how will I know the previous value? So based on, to know the previous values, we are doing this compute using. So if I do compute using order date, so the previous values will be based on this order. So if I'm on Feb 2020, my previous value will be this one. So with current value, I will add this. Let's say if I'm in December 2023, my previous values will be all these values. So for current December 2023, I will add all these values. So yeah. So at the end, you can see total. So which is calculating the total of everything. And now if I do, so I can restart at any point. Yeah, Rakib. Mhm. Yes, correct. So let's say if you are in January 2021, so what is the previous value for January 2021? Hmm. Yeah, December 2020. So you have to add all these values. So I'll show you. So if I'm in January 2021, with current value, I need to add all these values. So if I add, it will be 512502. So you can see that value in January 2021. So it's basically adding the previous values. So that order, we are deciding it based on the compute using. Okay, so and now I want to, so it's not, so I can go in this order. It is going like this. Why? Because it's in this order. So I want it to restart every year. So as it combining, so it is taking the previous value of December 2020 and adding it to December January 2021. So but I want to restart at every year so that I should see the normal sales value, whatever is there, and starting at that year, I want to see this value. So to do that, click on edit table calculation and restart every year. When I say restart every year, every January will match with the January sales, normal sum of sales. So you can see 14,518, 18,462, 18,830, 44,259. All this will match. And it will keep on adding till end of December. So if you want to know the December value, so it will be sum of all these values. Yeah, Prashant. Yes, yes. Same like table down. But here we are specifying based on the dimension. It is similar to table down. Yes, correct. And now I will show you how to restart at quarter. So this will be similar like pane down. So it will add only till this quarter. And again in the new quarter, it will restart. So you can see the quarter values match with the sales values. Okay, so for every quarter, it will restart for every new quarter. And till the March end, you will see the total of all these three, which is 75,972. So this way you can see that. So this will be similar to pane down. So dimension specific. So these are the types of things that we can do. Computations, these many types are available. And not only this, okay, so if I do right click on this, okay, so if you use different table calculation like difference, okay, so it will also, we will also have the same option like compute using, same options will be available. And apart from that, it will also have relative to. So these four options will be available. So every time in case of running total, we are just calculating the previous values. but here we can specify relative to previous, next, first, and last. Okay, so I will tell you how this works. So let me take a screenshot. So by default, it will be doing previous value. For 2020, there are no previous values. So it is calculating only, I mean, it will not show you any values. And for 2021, you have 18,462, and it will be compared with previous value, which is 2020. So here I'm doing computation based on table across. So table across will do like this. As we know, it will do horizontally. So if you are doing horizontally, so the previous values will be based on your current value. So it will check the previous one. So if I'm in 2021, so it will also check my previous value. Okay, so it will compare 18,462 minus 14,518, 3944, which will be value for this one. And if I'm in 2022, if I'm in 2022 January, it will only check the previous value. It will not check for this value and all. Only it will check for the previous value. So now if I want to find out 2022 January difference value, so 18,830 minus 18,462, which is 368. Okay, so in the same way, Divya, can you tell me how to find out this value? I mean, the difference value. Hello? Yeah. 44,259 minus. So it has to come 830. Yeah. 8 minus 18,830. So which will give you 25,429. So it is computing based on this thing. So we have considered only previous value. So it is just taking the previous, it is comparing with the previous. And in the same way, let's say if I select, instead of previous, if I select next value. So every time it will compare with the next value. So let's take this one. Okay, so if I want to get this value, if I want to get this value, so it will compare with the next value. So this value is compared with this value. Okay, so Prashant, can you tell me what will be the 2020 January difference value? Sorry? Okay. No, no, no. I want this January 2020 value. Sorry, 18,000 for, you have to do other way around actually. So you will get negative value. Okay. So you are comparing with the current value with the previous value. So 14,518 minus 18,462 will give you minus 394. Okay. Rakib, can you tell me how to get this value? Okay. Okay, so that's how you will get it. So you need to compare with this value with this value. So you need to keep 18,462 minus 18,830. Okay, so every time it will compare with the next value if I select that. And let's see how to do first. So first meaning this is your first line. So according to table across that we are doing. So I am starting from here. So this will become my first number. Okay, so every time that will be first. So every value will be compared with the first number. First number in this row. First number in this row. So if I say 14,518 compared with 14,518, you will get 0. So 14,518 minus 14,518. And 18,462 minus 14,518 will give you 3944. So every time it will compared with this row entire row will be compared with 14,518 minus 14,518. So 4312 and 44,259 minus 14,518. So this way you can see that. So every time I'm comparing with 14,518. So it is giving me all these values. In the second row also, it will compare every time with 4520. So 4520 minus 4520, you will get 0. 11951 minus 4520 is 7432. And now let's see about last. So according to across, so this will be my last. In each and every row, this will be my last value. Okay, so that will be my last, and let's say let me click on last. So every time it will compare with the last value. So 44,259 minus 44,259 will give you 0. So every time this last row will be compared with the last row value. And 18,830. So let's say if you are trying to get this value, I mean January 2020 value, which is 14,518 minus 44,259, which will be minus 29,741. Okay, Divya, can you tell me about January 2021? Okay, so it is 18,462 minus 44,259. Yeah, you wanna try? Hmm. Yes. Yes, all records will be compared with this one. Yes, correct. Yes. When you select previous, it is comparing with the previous value. But when I select last value, every value will be compared with last value like this. Even this value also will be compared with this value. Okay, so this is about last. And about first, I'll show it here. So every time it will compare with the first value. So this value will be compared with this value, which will be 0. And this value also compared with this one. So like this, it will compare for first, for previous and next. So this is for previous. So sorry, this is for next. So it will compare with the next one. You can see this is comparing the next one. Every time it will compare with the next value. And this, if you want to find out this one, this number will be compared with this one. And first, sorry, previous. And if you see here, there is no previous value for this. So it will not show you anything. And this value will be compared with this one. And this value will be compared with this one. This is for previous. Yeah, so that's about table calculations. So these are the ways that we can do. So mostly we will have this computation. Yeah. This one. Yeah, खुद का minus वाला. हाँ, this row. Yes, correct. Yeah. So if you go to the second row, every number in this second row will get subtracted with this one. So 4520 minus 4520 is this one. And 11,951 minus 4520 is this one, 7432. So it is rounding off and you are getting this. So like this, every number will be compared with the first value. So that we can decide it here. So relative to, so in all these four options we can select. So mostly we should know about this compute using and relative to. By using all this, we can use table calculations. Okay, so that's about Tableau session 15. So any questions from Tableau session 15? Yeah, Prashant. We can use other measures as well. I didn't get your question. Yes, you can use only measures. No, no, even dimensions, you can use different dimensions. Yeah, only measures can be used for this table calculation. You can't use, so when you right click on dimensions, you don't see this table calculations here. Only for measures, you will see this table calculations. And you can see quick table calculations. Oh, mm-hmm. Mm, mm, okay. సేల్ మిస్ అయిందా లేకపోతే జీరో ఉందా? రెండింటి డిఫరెన్స్ ఉంటుంది. జీరో ఉంటే ఇట్ ఈస్ లైక్ ఎ నెంబర్ ఓన్లీ. ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ కూడా ఇప్పుడు ఇది జీరో అనుకుందాం. లెట్స్ సే ఇక్కడ జీరో ఉంది అనుకుందాం. ఓకే, సో 24,797 minus 0. We will get 24,797 only. If you have null, జీరో కాకుండా నల్ ఉంటే నల్తో మనం కంపారిజన్ చేయడానికి ఉండదు. It will give you blank. నల్ వచ్చినప్పుడు zn అనే ఫంక్షన్ ఒకటి ఉంటుంది. zn అనే ఫంక్షన్ ఏం చేస్తా అంటే వెరెవర్ దెర్ ఆర్ నల్స్, ఇట్ విల్ కన్వర్ట్ నల్స్ టు 0. నల్స్ ఉన్న ప్లేస్ లో 0 పెట్టేస్తుంది. మళ్ళీ అప్పుడు వీ కెన్ యూజ్ ఇట్ ఫర్ కంపారిజన్. Let me show you one comparison. Sales, some random data enter చేస్తున్నా. ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ నల్ ఉంది. I will save this file. So Excel. Analytics sales. Okay, instead of this, I will add something. Okay, so here I have null. So let's say if I write some calculation, sum of sales plus 2. Okay, and if I use this, so normally what is happening? So this is my normal sum of sales, 25,253. Now I have added $2 to this particular sales, and you can see that value is getting added. And I'm not able to see any value for null. Okay, even if it is null, I want to show $2. But whenever you have nulls in your data, so you can't use that for calculation. So then what we will do is we can use zn function. So I'll type it here. Okay, so wherever there are nulls, I'll write a new calculation. Zn function and sum of sales. Say okay. So null, it is replacing it with 0. And if I edit this calculation again, this calculation 1, and here I'm using only sum of sales. So instead of sum of sales, if I use zn, then I can use, then that $2 will be added. So this will be considered as a 0, and this $2 will be added. So this is about handling the nulls in the data. So whenever you have nulls in your data or zeros in your data, so how to handle? So by using zn function, we can handle. Is it clear? Okay. Okay, so that's about Tableau session 15. Now let's continue with Tableau session 16. Okay, so in this session, we are going to discuss about how to create sets, bins, groups, and relations, reference lines, and what are the importance of sets, bins, and groups. So now let's discuss. So what is sets? A set is a subset of data which meets certain conditions based on existing dimensions. So let's say one particular dimension, customer name, has some 100 customer names, and you want to specify some specific customers, like 10 customers, based on some condition. So what I'm trying to do is I'm making a subset of data where initially where there are 100 customers, I'm trying to convert into some subset amount of data, and I can see instead of whole lot of data based on my condition, I want to see some little bit data. So to create that, we'll create sets. So customer name, let's say, so there are 800 customers in the data. So these many customers are available in the data. Okay, so what we are trying to do here is, so I want to put some condition, create set. Okay, so all these options similar to what we have discussed about filters. So general condition, all these conditions will be there. You can manually select. So manually also select. So that will become one of your set. So from 800 customers, I am trying to select, let's say 10 customers. So every time in this particular set, whenever you use this set in the filter, so it will show you these 10 customers. And if you go to top and by sum of sales, if you are trying to calculate, say okay, say sales. Okay, so this, let's sort this. So if you're trying to calculate like this, so let's say if you want to see only top 10. Okay, so now I have created a set to show top 10. So every time in this particular set, whenever you want to use it, every time it will have only those top 10 customer names. Okay, so if I put this in the filter, so it will hold those 10 customer names. So I can use it anywhere in this dashboard, anywhere in this workbook, I can use it to filter on. So this is how we create, and so this set is dynamic. So why I say it as dynamic is, so let's say I have in this particular scenario, I have these 10 customers, Sean Miller, Tamara Chen, Raymond Butch, all these are there. But let's say in the next month or in the next coming years, so these might not be the top 10 customers. So they might increase the sales. So this person can become the highest sale customer. All these possibilities are there. So this will be dynamic. So this will be based on the sum of sales value. So every time it will check for top 10 customers based on sum of sales. So this is dynamic. So these names are not fixed. So if you select in general, so in general mode, if you select, let's say if I am selecting this 5 customers. Okay, so whenever I put this filter, only these 5 customers will be selected. This will be static. Okay, even if the sales value is changing or if it is increasing or decreasing, it doesn't depend. And this is static. And when you click on this top thing, so this is based on value of sales. So this will become dynamic. So whenever there is a change in your sales value, if it is increasing or decreasing based on the top 10 customers, if the names are changing, you can see those new names in the list. So say okay. So that's how we can create a top 10 customers. Now let's create a bottom customer. So let's say from 800 customers, I want to see my bottom customers. So these are my bottom customers. So let's say I want to see only the below 10 members. Okay, so it's the same procedure that I need to do. Right click on the dimension, go to create, click on set and go to top and click on by field and here click on bottom and 10, mention 10 as your bottom 10 and calculate based on sum of sales. Say okay. And rename this set to bottom set and put it in the filter. So whenever you use this set, so it will filter on the bottom 10. So this will become my bottom 10 customers. Yeah, right. Meaning like bottom or top you are asking. That depends on your requirement. That depends. So let's say if requirement is like that, you need to select instead of 10, instead of 800 members. So you want some specific names manually. If you want some specific names, let's say some particular users or customer names. So you want to highlight those customers. You got that requirement, so you will manually select that. Okay, so that is one type of requirement. So this top is based on the condition. So usually mostly this type of requirements you will get. So manually selection, this is not automated, right? So you have to select manually. So this is dynamic. So every time the customer name will change based on the value. So yeah. So currently these are my bottom 10 customers, right? So let's say the values change, the values are changed. Let's say if these values are changed, the bottom 10 might be different. So let me show you customer names. Okay, so I have these customers. Okay, so what is my top one customer? Who is my top one customer? Top one. Top one based on sum of sales. No, no, no. Who is my bottom one customer? Origin. Okay, so this is my current data. So let's say later in the next month. Okay, so I will change these values. Okay, now the values are changed. Who is my top one? Now it's Arjun. Huh? Who is my bottom one? Vishnu. So Tableau will also automatically. So you are telling it manually, right? So you are seeing the values and you are telling it manually. But Tableau will automatically find out these values and it will change the names accordingly. Okay, so you don't need to touch any worksheet or any dashboard if it is published in the Tableau server. So based on the values that are getting changed in the behind, so this will automatically change the names also. So that is how it is. So bottom 10 customers. And okay, so I have top 10 customers here and bottom 10 customers here. But instead of seeing it in two different sheets, I want to see in single worksheet. So how to see those two conditions in one particular sheet? So what I need to do is, so this is my top set where I'm selecting top 10 cells. Say okay. So control select bottom set and top set. Yeah, top and bottom. And right click on this and you can create a combined set. So as I'm trying to get both the sets, okay, I need bottom set and I need top set. So I will select both and I will select all members in both sets. So it is a combined set. Say okay. Put it in the filters and you can see sorted. So these are your top 10 customers and these are your bottom 10 customers. So this way we can segregate. So you can use one of the set. and rename it top and bottom. Okay, so these are your bottom customers and these are your top customers. So this way we can make the combined set. So there is a question also on this. So how can you combine top and bottom in one single sheet? So by using the combined set, we can do. So this is how we can create a top and bottom set. And not only this, I can give control to the user so that they can select how many number of top customers they want to see and how many number of bottom customers they want to see. So now let's see how we can do that. Click on edit set and click on this static value. So here I have entered a static value which is 10. So every time user will only be able to see top 10. So instead of that, I will allow user to enter the value. So that I can do it by creating a new parameter. So create a new parameter so that user can enter values starting from 1 to 100. Okay, I will give this option. Say okay. And okay, so parameter 3 is created. Just edit this. So name it as select value so that user can enter. So now that I have given it for bottom, so let's give the parameter for top set as well. Edit. So instead of static value, I will select top uh, select value where user can enter using the parameter. Select value, show parameter, and click on this drop down and say type in. So here it is showing you 10 and you can see 10 values for each and every customer. And let's say if I say 5, so you can see top 5 and bottom 5. And if you say 2, you can see 2, 2. Likewise, you can enter till 100. So you can see top 20, 20. So this way you can give control to the user to select how many number of top customers or how many number of bottom customers they want to see. So that is about sets where you can do the subset of data by using certain conditions. Okay, so we can do conditional sets. So I'll just show you. So this is about top and bottom customers. And let me show you some other examples. Customer name and sales. And here I will do. Okay, so I'll select customer name and create set. And I will tell you about this condition. So here we have selected the number of customers. So let's say top 10 values or top 10 customers based on the sum of sales. So you are specifying the how many number of customers that you want to see. And here you can specify the value based on the value. So I want to see the customers who are having more than $10,000 sales. So select this greater than symbol here. Okay. I want to see the customers who are having more than $10,000 sales. So in this current data that I see, so I have values starting from $0 to $25,000. But I want to see the customers who are more than 20, who has more than $10,000 of sales. So more than $10,000 of sales. Say okay and use this set in the filters. So it is showing you only customer names whose sales is more than $10,000. So that is how we can see the data. So we can use conditional sets and we can manually select as well. So we have also seen manual selection. So this is more of like manual selection. You need to manually select whatever names that you want to create a subset of data. And you can select the condition where you can select from 5 to, so the value starting from 5 to $25,043. So in this scenario, I'm trying to find out more than $10,000 of sales. And by using top, I can select my 10, so I can specify the number of customers that I want to see based on the sum of sales. So that is about conditional set. So these are all the basic conditions that we can give to create a subset of data. Yeah, we have seen top sets. Okay, so now that we have discussed about sets, let's go to how to create the bins and all. So let's create bins. So to create bins, so it will be like a number. Hope we have discussed about this movie names and ratings. The bins topic is related to find out the frequency and the range of sales. Let's say okay, so these are all my movies, and I will give a rating of 5, 4, 4, 3, 3. Okay, and now here I want to see. So bins are basically range. So I will create 0 to 2, 3 to 5, let's say, and number of movies. Okay, Prashant, can you tell me how many number of movies are in the range of 0 to 2? Yeah, 0. Yeah, Divya, can you tell me how many number of movies are in the range of 3 to 5? Yeah, and I'll add some more movies. And I have added 0 to 2 as well. So there will be 2 movies for this. So I can see there are 2 movies in the range of 0 to 2, and there are 5 movies in the range of 3 to 5. So to to know the number of to know the frequency of rating. Okay, in this frequency, in 3 to 5 range, there are more number of movies which are having high rating. So in all the 7 movies, so there are 5 movies which are having in the range of 3 to 5. To find out that information, we will create the bins. So this I have created it manually. So I am just creating for every 2 or 3 numbers, I'm just creating this bins. And if you see for our sales, so there are so many values in our data. If you go to sales, so these many values are there. So these many values are there. So for every line item, I can't create like this. So there is an option that Tableau has given. So where you can right click on this and create bins. So it has a minimum value of 0 and it has a maximum value of 22,000. And for every 500, I want to make a group. So that means a bin. 0 to 500 one group, and 500 to 501 to 1000 one group. Like this it will create. And I want to see the sale line item, the count of line item. So I'm just finding out the count. So here I have taken a count of number of movies, but here I'm taking the count of sales itself. So let's say, okay, so let's say I'm trying to find out 0 to 1. So 0 to 1, so there are how many number of rows are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there are 8 rows. So in the same way, I want to see how many number of rows are there in the range of 0 to 500. So there are 9,019 rows that are there for 0 to 500. That means there are more purchases, or there are more orders, there are more customers who are spending in between in the range of 0 to 500. So that information we can get it from the histogram chart. So if you are using bins in your chart, so that will become your histogram chart. So I will make it continuous so that it will look like 0 to 500. So these many rows are there, and 500 to 1000. So these many rows are there. So you can say that most of the purchases or most of the sales are happening in the frequency of 0 to $500. And there are very, very less purchases or sales happening in the range of 500 to $1,000 and $1,000 to $1,500. So that we can get to know by creating the bins. Okay, to create the range of data, which is similar to SQL buckets. So in SQL, those are called as buckets. Okay, so to create, to know the range of data. So basically, we have in this range, what are the number of movies are there? So you can get to know by using bins. And now let's see. So we have taken an example of sales. So where we can right click on the sales and create bins. Yeah. So set is a combination. Earlier we have discussed about set. Set is a combination of dimension and measure. So where you can use in the condition you can use measure as well, but bins you cannot apply to dimensions. It is restricted to measures. Okay, so now that we have discussed about bins, so now let's discuss about grouping. So let's take an example of state. Okay, so grouping you can do by normal selection also. You can select like this and you can click on this group members. So it will create a group for these 5 members. State. Okay, so I have created a group for this. So by just selecting, you can create that and you can rename this selected items. So you can group it like that, and also right click on this, go to create and click on group. Okay, so here you can select manually. So grouping is so manual. You need to select values, click on that and select shift select and right click, and you can say group, or you can control select whatever names that you want to create. Dakota. Like this, you can keep on creating. So groups is to create the higher level category. Let's say, we have India. Let's say we have India, the country India, and we have states like Delhi, Mumbai, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Telangana, and what else we have? Tamil Nadu, Jaipur, Rajasthan, Kashmir. Okay, so these are like states in our country. So I can do a grouping like, okay, so this is North. Maharashtra is also North. Karnataka is south, 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 north, north. Okay, so I'm just doing the grouping so that if I want to select particular south related states, so I can just choose it like this. Okay, so in our data also, so we will be able to do in that way. So you can specifically select these names and you can do the grouping. Okay, in Tableau, you can select these names manually and set it as south or something like that. So group, and you can specify south. So those will be added into that group, and you can use this grouping column. Okay, so you can see that names. So that you can create a higher level category, and you want to know what is the sales made in that particular area. So in south, you want to specify particularly in south states, particularly in south state or in the north state, if you are trying to find out the amount of sales. So you can directly use that particular group and you can find out. So that is the reason we create groups. Okay, so that's how we can create, and there are many other options. So I'll just show you. So you can select, you can multi-select control by using control, you can create a group, and you can select everything and you can do ungroup as well. So it will remove from the group. And so once you have created some groups and all, once you have created some groups, okay, so now that you want to involve the rest of the names, so there is this rest of the names will be shown like this. So instead of showing that like that, so you can create a include other, so it will be shown in the other group. Okay, all this will be considered as others. So this way we can do the grouping. And grouping, we can also apply it for groups can be applied on both measures and dimensions. Okay, so now that I have shown for dimensions, now I will show for sales. Okay, so here you need to manually select. Let's say I have created bins. So this is also, you can use it as a bin, but manually you have to select for 0 to 500. Let me select for 0 to 3. So you can make like this. So you can create bins also like this by using groups for measures. You can create bins, but you need to create for all these measures, all these values. So it's very tedious. So instead of groups, we can use bins for measures, but there is an option. You can also do groups for measures. So that's about groups. So we will discuss about a reference line tomorrow. Okay, so till groups, is it clear? So any doubts from the previous slides? Yeah, sure. Okay, so how I'm doing a group is, so let me take a simple one, subcategory. So there are 17 subcategories that I have, and I will try to create a group. And I will create 3 or let's say 7 items that I have selected, and I will keep it as furniture. And I will select 3 other. इसको हम्म हम्म Okay, I'll show it for others. So I'm selecting this. I'm just right clicking on this. So you can add to the existing group, which I have already created, or you can create a new group. So if I click on this, Then I can enter the name. Yeah, group name I can enter it here. Yeah, you can select, I mean, at a time you can't create two groups. So for this, I want to create a different group. You can add it to the existing groups or you can create a new one. Right click on this, new group. Okay, so there are two other names which are left. I have not created the groups. There are few names. Okay, supplies and tables. I have not created a group. Okay, so there is an option which is available, include other. So these three will go into other group if I click on this. Otherwise, it will be left as it is. Say okay, and I will use this in the rows. So you can see furniture and group and other. Yeah, yeah, you can take the call. Yeah. Okay, so that's about today's session. Is it clear, Rakim? Okay. Any other questions from anyone? Okay, then. Thank you all for joining. We'll continue tomorrow. 11 p.m. You want to join? Okay. Yeah.